So you may have heard a Rothschild passed away in a fire, but did you know he passed away on the 333rd day, and there's 33 days remaining in the year? It gets crazier. It also took firefighters 33 minutes to extinguish the fire. Do with that what you will.
So Where Are You Now? Music video by Justin Bieber.
Where are you now that I need you?
The whole time, there was subliminal messages when Justin Bieber was rapping, right? Aliens are real, Masonic symbols, Illuminati is real, believe in the devil.
Yeah.
And it goes, where are you now that I need you? And then when that thing goes off, there's a bunch of art. Once you slow down the video frame by frame, whoa. Look. Masonic symbols right there. Oh, Master 22. Whoa. Yeah. Yes. Look, pyramids in the eye.
Why did I use video?
They pushed Justin to push that agenda. We've been knew this. I thought Justin was on the good side.
Zoom in on that. Everyone else is so oblivious they don't even see it. Come on. Truman Show.
Göbekli Tepe, brother, if there is such a thing as an ancient conspiracy theory, it's this. So I remember hearing Graham Hancock come on your show back in like 2015 or 2017, and he was talking about Göbekli Tepe. And at that time, he had shared that the site was only approximately 5% excavated. These pillars dates back 11,600 years. It appears to be purposely buried at the same time of the Younger Dryas climate catastrophe. This is fascinating. I'm like, okay, I'm going to backburn this topic of Göbekli Tepe for a little while, let them further their excavations, and I'll revisit this later when there's something new to share. So earlier this summer, I'm like, all right, let me revisit Göbekli Tepe and see what's new there. And I was astonished to learn that 5% figure was still the same. And I couldn't believe this. They're going to defer a full-scale excavation for, quote, future generations with a 150-year estimated time frame for a full excavation of Göbekli Tepe. And I'm like, wait a second. Are you serious? Like, this makes no sense. We're talking about arguably not just the world's oldest ancient site, but arguably the most mysterious, because it's like you were saying, it's not supposed to exist.
The coast of Sicily, all these apartments were like catching on fire. A microwave, boom, some books, boom, couch, boom. And so the government came in and they're like, what the is going on here? So they quarantine the area, get everyone to leave, and they're going, why are things catching on fire? They detected these energy weapons or something that were way out in the Mediterranean. What they looked out and saw were UFOs. So the head of the UFO program and the head of the Italian Navy SEALs get on an unmarked civilian helicopter and just fly out to go see what's going on out there. As they're flying, a UFO pops out of the ocean and shoots their helicopter down. I have the documents. I have pictures of the helicopter being chased by a UFO and all the damage that was done to it with some type of microwave weapon or something. And what they found out was there were airplanes and other helicopters kind of in the area, but the UFO knew that those dudes were looking for him. It's like they can read their minds. It's like we have drones that fly around and listen to people's like cell phones. They do it with thought.
I am not quite sure what this big shadow on the clouds is from. The sun is right there. What in the heck? That is not a vapor trail. That is something different.
Are you saying that Elon Musk has kind of built his own base on Antarctica?
That camp exists. It's called Three Glaciers Retreat. It's a luxury camp. My buddy Devin and I were lucky enough to go up there for a few nights. It's absolutely incredible. It's like in the middle of nowhere in Antarctica, and you have Michelin star chef cooking you meals. You have like maybe 8 or 12 of these little tents, which are kind of the rooms with heaters and like super nice beds and a ton of activities. You can go. We went skiing up this kind of nearby mountain. You can take snowmobiles out.
They made incandescent bulbs illegal in the U.S. last year.
Sorry, what?
Oh yeah. So you used to be able to buy incandescent bulbs because your body likes them. So last year, they put a fine in place of about $440 per bulb if a company sold a bulb. So I bought a few thousand incandescent bulbs right before they became illegal. So my house has amazing lighting, and when I run out of
What
those...
are Edison bulbs?
Edison bulbs are LED. They're just much better than the big bright ones.
So Edison incandescent are illegal?
If they're incandescent Edison bulbs, and you can still get them.
I got the incandescent one.
Okay.
I was like, there were spotlights out there. I was like, I'm not having any of this.
Those are precious. Most of the Edison bulbs you buy today have an LED filament.
Yeah, I
that's
saw
not
those.
actually incandescent.
Okay, as long as they're not illegal.
Greenbrier Hotel. Have you heard of that?
No.
So, a hotel that is 5 hours away from Washington, D.C. was built like early 1900s, and they're going to do some renovations to it. And a lot of presidents, royal members, like all these elites of the world, they would go and stay at this hotel. So the U.S. government commissioned 120,000 square foot bunker underneath this hotel. Literally no one knew about it. Hotel staff didn't even know about it for over 30 years.
Wow.
How did it get discovered?
This is where it gets crazy, because the Washington Post basically was granted permission to talk about this bunker that was underneath this hotel. That article came out in 1992, and then the government stopped using this bunker in 1995, which is the same year the Denver airport was finished. This bunker underneath the Greenbrier Hotel, it had like a Congress room and everything. So it's like literally where like all the U.S. elites would go in case of a...
How does that just happen? What are they hiding? What's going on in there?
Another beautiful invention of the golden age of electricity shelved from us. The rail plane of the 1930s. As impressive outside as it is luxurious inside. A hybrid airplane train of the past that was capable of reaching speeds of well over 100 miles per hour. It's amazing how much innovation came out of the past. How many different railroads and how many different futures for the railroads and many other forms of transportation they envisioned. Yet, as you know, we're stuck with the same old that we seem to have had for the last 100 years. The technologies of the old world was not about profits and control, unlike the monopolies we have controlling us today. And that is why you see so much of this great tech seemingly lost to us. Question everything, friends.
Do you know that there's one U.S. company that the United States government cannot work with? It's a company called Pinkerton, and it's even been codified in law for over 100 years that people that work for them cannot work for the U.S. government. An individual employed by the Pinkerton Detective Agency or similar organization may not be employed by the government of the United States or the government of the District of Columbia. And you're probably asking why. The Pinkerton is a detective agency that was founded by this man, Allan Pinkerton. Allan was an interesting guy. He was an abolitionist, he was a detective, and he even stopped a failed assassination attempt on Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War. Too bad he wasn't at the Ford Theater, though. But they were maybe a little bit too good. Rich people like Andrew Carnegie started hiring them as private security to bust unions. They didn't do it psychologically, they didn't do it monetarily, they did it with their fists. One specific instance was the Homestead Steel Strike. People at Carnegie Steel decided to strike. Carnegie Steel called in the Pinkertons to stop them from striking. The fight between the Pinkertons and the strikers was so bad that the state had to call in the National Guard to stop them. What happened was so bad that the United States government wanted nothing to do with them and passed a law in 1893 saying that we want nothing to do with them and they can't have anything to do with us. And the company is still around today, and they are a consulting and investigative service.
What I believe crashed at Roswell was German from Argentina, but it had hallmarks and technology based on alien technology. So we put out a story saying it's alien, and then we put out a story saying it's a weather balloon. But the real thing it was, we didn't want anyone to guess, and that's why we put those two things out there. 90 days after the Roswell event, CIA was created, the Air Force was separated from the Army, the National Security Act was created, and all those things are mechanisms to start learning more and to start getting private industry off the ground.
So that had nothing to do with World War II. You think it had to do with aliens?
I do know that there's connections to Atlantis.
What's the connection?
That there's a very advanced group that left after a catastrophe and hung around in a small outpost here and throughout time would push civilization forward, and that's who the Greek gods were.
Whoa.
And that's why it's very interesting on the Roswell wreckage, there's Greek writing.
Eleftheria.
Which means freedom in ancient Greek.
Civilization, you're living in with the right type of eyes, and you're sort of looking around your city and you're going, well, hang on, what's this building doing here? And why is there a building just like that in the Philippines? Why is there one in Japan? Apparently Japan's borders were closed, weren't they? Why are we finding what we're told is Greco-Roman style architecture in every country on earth? Was it really Greco-Roman style, or is it evidence of a culture that existed, a worldwide culture that existed right around the world in a not too distant past?
If I took a picture of this building behind me and asked any of these people, where do they think this building is in the world, I guarantee you most of them would say Rome or Europe somewhere. But no, it's right here in San Francisco. We have buildings like this all over the country, and they want us to believe that they were built in the early 1900s or the late 1800s with horse and buggy. And there's just no way that's true. These buildings were built by the prior civilization, master builders, the old world order.
This is the architecture I'm talking about. You'll find this anywhere. New Zealand, Australia, Hong Kong, North America, South America, all over Europe. It doesn't matter where you are. This architecture is replicated. The weird thing is, they akin it to being all built around the 1870s to 1900 mark. So all of the world just out of nowhere at the same time. There was nothing before it. Does it make any sense?
I don't think antiquity is a long time ago. I think this civilization went just before us. You know, the Edwardians are supposed to be around the time of the First World War. So within grandparents' living memory, yet we know nothing about it. It's the control mechanism that covers it up with the education system. They got the news, they got the narrative, they got, you know, the mainstream to tell you how things are, but the reality is completely different. History goes to the victors, okay? Somebody invaded this place and took over a beautiful, through jealousy, using trade routes, using the sea, and they took over this place. They covered all of this fine architecture with their iconography. So there's literally been a cover-up of history more than one way.
If you look at Capitol buildings all over the earth, they look the same. They do. They've got columns, they've got domes. It was not random. And every story we're told in our historical narrative about how a place got started was some guy was the first settler there, bought some land, subdivided it, sold it, and pretty soon you have a city. But the whole narrative is based, especially in North America, that there wasn't anything there, and we built it all.
You can look at it, the whole building was a work of art. So there was obviously some pride that went behind that.